Guys, so this is part 2, what if Deku was an invisible man. Now guys, now I'm gonna be uploading, a bunch of what ifs, a bunch of part 2s. Basically guys, I will be doing requests in there, but my goal for my what if part of my channel is that I'm going to be going on all my old what ifs that I haven't finished yet, and basically be adding part 2s or part 3s or part 5s or whatever's to those videos, every single one of them, so I can be catched up on every single one of my what ifs. So guys, this is the first part of this series, well, my continuation of my what if series, and let's get into the video. Now, after this video, I'm going to be uploading part 4 to What If Deku Was in Sweet Home, and also part 3 of What If Deku Was a Predator, rebooted. So, and also we'll be uploading part 5 to What If Deku had the Omnitrix rebooted. Now, no, part 3 or 5. Now, that what if I'm going to be including the anti-tricks. I don't know if I haven't or haven't, but I am going to be including it. But let's get into the video. Now, I last left off where Deku went back home after the whole entire first day of UA. Now, guys, if I didn't, correct me in the comments and I'll do a part 2 to this. And you need to delete this video and then do it again if, I didn't leave off at the other. But yeah, whatever. So I last left off, I think, that Deku went back home after the whole entire UA event. Now, Deku lives with his mom, but also Deku doesn't live with his mom. I think I gave Deku a mansion, or Deku, I think I gave Deku a mansion. Basically, last time, Deku, went back home, and guys, Deku's hero costume is basically, last time I didn't, completely say how I was going to make Deku's hero costume. Deku's hero costume is basically just going to be him in mommy wrap. Or it's just going to be Deku with nothing, because he's an invisible man. He needs all the skin showing, because none of his clothing turn invisible as he puts them on. So Deku, last left off, I said Deku's father made him invisible, on trousers, so he wouldn't, be completely naked when he's invisible. So basically, last time, I explained Deku's powers. Deku has invulnerability, increased strength and stamina. Also, I think Deku has, actually, I gave Deku the ability to see invisible objects and invisible people. So, Deku could see himself, and also Deku, could choose not to see himself, so he wouldn't have to look at himself in the mirror. Because if you haven't seen Hollow Man, it's one quote near the end of the movie. Hollow Man said that, "You imagine what I can do now. I'm a monster because I don't have to look at myself in the mirror anymore." Something like that. Deku's not going to be a psychopath. Deku's kind of am going to be a psychopath, because I'm basing this off the classic Invisible Man. Because Deku's going to have, um, you know, angers then and there when he tries to kill somebody. So basically, Deku goes to school the next day, and everybody's, getting ready. So everything goes the same. Deku's Deku's flirting with the invisible girl. And basically, what was it? Basically, All Might walks in a couple minutes, later in the day, and explains to the class they're doing quirk training, or combat training. So they get ready and they get handed all their hero costumes. Deku's hero costume basically is not this in the video. It's just some fan art of Invisible Man that I don't own in any way. So basically, Deku's hero costume, if he isn't invisible and he just wants people to see him, is a red pair of goggles, like in this picture, and also bandages around his whole entire body, like a mommy, but like skin tight, not around the pants area, but like skin tight bandages that can also be washed off by the slightest bit of water. So if it started raining, Deku's bandages will, dissolve, not get soggy, to just dissolve off of his body, and then Deku can, walk away. And Deku also can pour like a bottle or like a gallon of water over him, and just dissolve off of him. Now, for Deku to take it off, he has to like rip it off, and that's pretty easy because the bandages are really durable. They are fireproof, but they ain't, super strong to the point Deku can't rip them off like bandages. So, like normal bandages. So Deku goes, and gets ready. Now Deku's, people say here Deku's hair costume is kind of good. Deku sees the invisible girl, and pretty much Deku's newfound quirk, seeing invisible objects, kicks in. Deku sees the invisible girl, and basically, he gets a little woozy. And what I'm trying to say here, guys, is if you haven't noticed, the invisible girl, her costume is basically just boots, gloves, nothing else. Just boots and gloves and nothing else. Nothing else. And since the invisible girl, for her to be invisible, she has to be butt naked like Deku. But also, she's butterball naked. That's what I'm trying to say. Deku, Invisible Girl is nothing when her hero costume, because it's nothing. Literally, her hero costume is nothing, and that's kind of it's a reason for that because come on, she basically her whole entire power is invisibility, and she can't really use that if she has a full-on outfit that's giving away her position. So Deku's hero costume is kind of is basically not going to be really wearing it anytime Deku really uses quirk. But let's get into the video. Now, Deku, basically, they start, and they get ready. Now, Deku's teamed up, with Ochaku still, and everybody's teamed up the same. Now, when they start the battle, Deku starts ripping off his bandages and telling Ochaku to, hold off Ida while I take out Bakugo. Now, pretty much Deku sprints off full speed, leaving Ochaku behind. Deku's running, and he sees a piece of rubble on the floor. Deku grabs it and throws it in the air, giving away his position, but not really. He walks the other way, and Bakugo thinks he's over there where Deku threw the rubble. Bakugo goes over there, blasts it, and pretty much looks around, saying, "Where are you, nerd?" And Deku comes up behind Bakugo and pretty much sucker punches him straight in the face. I mean, like, John Cena. Like, he straight up knocked him out cold with one punch. It wasn't even a fight. Everybody was surprised that Deku knocked him out. Basically, because what I'm trying to say is it's not going to really be a real competition between Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo is going to get folded each time Deku and him fight, so it's no competition. But yeah, whatever. So Deku walks off, and guys, I am going to give Deku another power. Basically, I'll talk about it near the end of the video, but let's get back into the video. So Deku's running, and he sees Ida, while Deku's running, he gets over to the bomb room, he opens the door, and he sees Ida fighting Ochaku. Deku sprints over there, Ida can't see him, but Ida slowly figures out that it's some footsteps where he can't see anybody. And he knows that he's not running, and he would know his own footsteps, and also Ochaku's in the air, so it has to be Deku. So Ida starts running around the room, non-stop, kicking thin air, not even knowing where Deku is. Deku, right behind Ida, grabs the bomb out of Ida's hands and wins. So Deku wins, and Ida trips on top of Deku, and Deku gets really angry and tapping into his invisible man angriness. So pretty much he grabs Ida's head and pretty much starts bashing up against the concrete, like making a huge blood puddle. Ida's trying to get Deku off of him, but Deku ain't stopping. Pretty much slamming his head back and forth, making an indent, and pretty much trying to crush Ida's head. Ida is able to be saved. He isn't, figuratively, demoted. He's not, deformed in the face or anything now, but Deku basically gets back up, and after, they got Ida away from Deku. Deku, was scolded by All Might. Deku didn't give a rat's buttocks on what All Might thinks of him, and pretty much just walks off. Later that day, they go back home, and basically Deku tries to work on his hero costume. The Deku makes the bandages a lot more weaker, so they would rip off quickly, and also Deku makes a pair of brown gloves in this picture. Now, Deku goes to sleep that night, and basically wakes up in the middle of the night. But not him. Deku doesn't wake up. The Invisible Man wakes up. Now I'm giving Deku a second personality. A personality that mainly focuses on his anger and his hatred. upon people. So pretty much Deku wakes up, and his other counterpart can't see Deku. He can only see the invisible him. So he walks off into, the living room. Deku's mom's asleep, but Invisible Man doesn't have any grudge against her mother. And pretty much Invisible Man, walks in there. Walks out of the building, and pretty much sees a muggery happen. Invisible Man runs over to the muggery, and pretty much, I'm not even going to say anything. Basically, I can't really narrate this, but let's just say the mugger went bye-bye. The mugger went no more waking up, sleep forever, stuff like that. So pretty much, Deku did something very bad. Deku doesn't know it because Deku's asleep, but Invisible Man's taking over Deku's body while he's asleep. Now the girl tries to walk away, pretty much thanking Deku, but the Invisible Man doesn't care. He doesn't care about people. Like literally, he straight up clocks the girl's neck into like pretty much snaps it off, Predator style. The spine and everything connected to the skull, like straight up, and pretty much throws the woman on the ground, and pretty much throws the skull in a trash can while the dumpster in the alleyway. So he walks off, and Deku goes back home. Deku washes the blood off of his hands, and pretty much goes back to sleep. Now, since when Deku made an invisible serum, Deku's handprints and pretty much fingerprints and all that other stuff, pretty much just straight up changed. They are not, Deku's original thumbprints. And Deku never got any thumbprints, so basically nothing's really changed. But they can't trace down Deku because, well, his fingerprints are like super random. No one can find out who they belong to. Pretty much, the cops are never gonna find out who killed them. But if you wanna, if you want Deku to be caught, you can. You can go in the comments and ask. But yeah, guys. So see you guys later. Bye. Deuces. Predator 2 coming soon. Or Predator 3, don't really know. And also, guys, this is about the powers I'm talking about. Deku will be able to basically, Deku will be able to become sort of like a god type of object or something. Now, Deku will be able to give other people invisibility, like Ochaku or Bakugo. If he touches somebody, he can turn them invisible too, kind of like Invisible Woman. So if Deku keeps contact or physical contact with them, he can turn them invisible too. Also turn their clothes invisible as well, but not him or his clothes. So Deku can like split his power in two and make them, translucent but not fully invisible. So if Deku transfers his powers, they get all his powers, his other powers under the invisibility. They get, superhuman speed and agility, and they also get invulnerability. But basically, Deku goes back to school the next day, and I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. Sorry, this is a little bit rushed, but I'm trying to get all these what-ifs done. So, guys, have a nice day, and as always, have a blessed day. Bye.